Hey guys, in this video I'm going to talk about Attio's most underrated feature, which is its ability to turn any team collaboration, project management, data management into a very interconnected way to have visibility around what is going on. So the most underrated feature of Attio is its malleability, and I'm going to use an example to show you how. I actually turned Attio into my content creation calendar with analytics. Now, you might be wondering how all of this is possible within Attio, right? This is what I did, and I'm going to show you in a couple of moments on how this can be done. The first thing is you can actually collaborate between teams on your content creation, and it could happen between multiple channels like LinkedIn, YouTube, or Instagram. You could add your content, you could track the engagement, um, you could actually monitor the leads generated, and you could have complete analytics on channel-wise analytics, how many posts or videos are scheduled, yet to be published, and all of that. So let's dive in. I mean, just to give you a brief overview, we create a new object within Attio, which is for content creation, and then we add our content. You collaborate with your teams, and then we create workflows around the engagements. So diving right into how it actually looks, this is it. This is how my content creation calendar looks like right now. These are all of the LinkedIn and YouTube, posts. This is my content. This is the content name. These are, content pieces that have been published, and these are content pieces which have been scheduled right until December. You could actually have the post URL, and you could have which user has actually done it. So there are a couple of users on our CRM right now. And the exciting part is you could actually track the leads that were generated from each of the content pieces, right? Leads meaning who actually reached out to you, or, you know, it helped you figure out conversion with that person or the company. And the other, interesting aspects is you can actually track your engagement, the number of comments, the number of likes, impressions, and all of that. So I'll jump right into the workflow right now. The first thing you've got to do is you've got to go to your workspace settings, and then you've got to create a custom object. I've created a custom object which is content creation, and I'll show you the exact attributes that I'm using. A bunch of things like record ID, etc., which you've got to have as as a unique identifier. And then I'm using content name, status. I'll show you what status means, live date, post URLs, first name, last name of the person who's actually posting the comment, number of comments, likes, reposts, and all of that, right? Going into the exact table, I'll show you how this is being done. So let's take an example over here. Let's take a post that I've already published, right? Now, this is a post I've already published on, oh, sorry, this is a YouTube one. Let me go to a LinkedIn post. Yeah. So this is a LinkedIn post that I've already published, and you could literally add your content into the first column, or you could add it into your notes over here. You can literally select notes, and then this is just like a Notion template. You just type something, and then you can add your how I generate 310 SQLs, and then that becomes like your content over here. In this case, I just added the content in the first column, and then you've got to create a column which says status. I'll show you what this column actually means. So there's a multi-selection, or rather ability to select from a drop down, and these are the different values that I have, which is post idea, draft, or scheduled, published, or cancelled. And then you would have to keep a constraint whether there's a mandatory field or not, and I actually added required over here. Otherwise, you cannot complete the addition of this, complete the addition of the content in this row. This is the content name. You could actually add a live date, this is the, the channel app. This is similar to the status column that I just showed. Simply name it as channel. The type is you select from multiple options. You could either select LinkedIn, YouTube, Reddit. In certain cases, if you posted on multiple channels, you could put in multiple channels. And then you could just save the changes. Interesting parts of this. Now you've set up a content creation calendar. You have the content in, you have the user setup. Now, your question could be, how am I getting my URLs of the posts and how am I getting the engagements and the comments, right? For that, I'm using Apify. This is a LinkedIn, post, engagement actor on Apify. Basically, you put in your profile, and then all of the posts created by this profile on LinkedIn is brought to you on a CSV file. So in here, basically, what I did is once my posts were live, I basically uploaded that CSV. I'm going to show you how. This was the CSV I got from Apify, and these are the number of columns that it has, the number of posts that I had in that sheet at that point in time. When I click next, I then map each of these columns, right? In here, I would say the unique identifier for me is basically the unique record ID, or in here I'm using the unique URN ID to find out, or rather map the impressions with the likes and all of that. So in here I select a drop down, and then I map, say, likes over here, and then I map reposts over here, and then comments over here, and then all of the data flows in. So that's how I'm getting all of my engagements from my posts onto my CRM. Now this can be automated. You can use workflows over here. I choose to do it once in a week. You could link your CRM to Apify's actor via an API key and get all of the data over here. And moving on to the next interesting piece. For each of these content pieces, now I'm tracking literally which company or which lead actually reached out to me looking at this content piece. So for that, I have a column which is leads generated, and I'm going to show you how I'm linking it to companies or leads generated. So this is known as a custom relationship. I'm doing a one-to-many, attribute link, or rather object linking, which means that for a single content piece, I can have multiple companies associated with it. So I'm simply naming content creation over here, and then I select one-to-many for this case. I select companies, and that's it. And then you have the option to actually map which of the companies actually came to you by looking at each of these content pieces. I've blurred out my companies list over here for data privacy reasons, but this is one of the most underrated features in Attio. This is what I was talking about. You can literally get any sort of project management piece, content creation, data tracking in here, and you can link information between people, companies, data points, etc. Now, post this is another interesting piece. I can create reports for my content creation. Now, since I have numbers into my calendar, I can look at how many posts I've already published on LinkedIn, on YouTube, how many I've already published, how many are in the scheduled phase, how many on Reddit. I don't do Reddit right now. Some of the channels are not mapped over here, which is an indication that I've got to go and map it. This is a bar chart on the number of engagements that we've received for our posts or the content pieces. For our 40-second content asset, we actually got more than 200 engagements. You can then split it across LinkedIn or YouTube as well. I'm just in a nutshell showing you how that happens. Basically, You select what is the number, or what is the criteria you want to have, what is the metric. In this case, I want to sum up all the engagements, and then you segment it by user, you group it by engagement over here. And you could also have the number of impressions on a monthly basis, right? So I think, in short, I am really, really impressed by the way Attio as a CRM is able to stretch the limits. Until now, you'd have to reach out to the CRM to figure out, hey, can I have this custom things made for me and all of that. Right now, with this example, I showed you how malleable it is. You can have as difficult a piece as content creation on Attio. Thank you so much, and please engage with my post. And if you need help with Attio, please reach out to me. Thank you.